Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, July 24th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. It has been over 3 weeks since the town was hit with that unprecedented rainstorm that shut down Norwood Hospital. Hospital staff is still working to assess the damage that was caused to the building. They explain the ongoing situation in a statement. Quote, "We are assessing the full extent of damage to our facilities and determining next steps. This hospital has been a pillar in the Norwood community for more than 100 years, and we are absolutely committed to reopening as a full-service, state-of-the-art facility to meet the healthcare needs of our community. Our top priority is reopening the emergency department, an important health resource for the greater Norwood community. In days ahead, we will begin to outline a time frame to bring additional services back online. We will continue to provide official updates as our plans develop. Perhaps like no other, this year has tested the strength and resolve of the Norwood community, including Norwood Hospital. As an institution committed to serving others in times of great need, our mission of care and healing is more important than ever. We look forward to once again standing tall in the Norwood community for the next 100 years. Norwood Community Media will continue to follow this story. The hospital did have a minor setback this week. Tuesday, the Norwood Fire Department responded for a hazardous material leak at the hospital. The department released this statement at 5:15 p.m. Quote, "An outside liquid oxygen tank is leaking. Group 1 firefighters are on scene metering and securing the leak. A Tier 1 hazardous material response has been requested. There is no danger to the surrounding area or need for evacuations at this time," end quote. And followed up with an update to the situation at 6:30. Quote, "As of 6:30, the leak has been mitigated and all fire companies have cleared." The leak, which was from a pressure relief valve, was most likely caused due to a combination of this week's high temperatures and the hospital no longer utilizing the oxygen tanks. Workers are on scene securing the tanks to prevent any future issues, end quote. Stay tuned after this break for some more town news.
Hi, I'm Chief Bill Brooks of the Norwood Police Department. The men and women of the Norwood PD are committed to protecting you and to providing you with top quality service. We're busy. Norwood is a nice town, but in any given 24-hour cycle, we handle anywhere from 65 to 90 radio calls and officer-initiated events. We patrol the town's 10 square miles, including over 100 miles of roadways. Our traffic enforcement focuses on places where crashes have occurred, neighborhoods where residents have reported chronic violations, and offenses that impact crashes like speed, texting, running stop signs and red lights, and failing to yield to pedestrians. When we're not tied up on calls, we work hard to build relationships with members of the community. So you'll see our officers out walking footbeats, checking in with merchants, and stopping at sporting events to chat with kids. We believe that every resident should know, or at least feel like they know, a member of our department. So if you see us, stop and say hello. We'd love to chat with you. On behalf of the men and women of the Norwood Police Department, it's our pleasure to serve you.
Welcome back. This week, the Rec Department finished the installation of new LED lighting at the Ivets tennis courts located at the Coakley. To explain this project, we go to Travis Farley.
Hi Norwood, Travis Farley here at Ivets Tennis Courts. We want to just fill the residents in on the project we just completed. We actually just retrofitted the poles here. They were the old high pressure sodium lights. They are now LED, a lot more energy efficient, no light spillover, so the residents should enjoy a lot more evening tennis for those who play, a lot more high quality light in the evening. And the best part is they're under Musco, which allows us to control them actually from your telephone. So if there's a rain day or if we need to cancel because of any inclement weather, it's really simple, easy. So we hope all the residents enjoy it. It was a grant funded project and it was a big upgrade for Ivets Tennis Court. So come check it out right next to the middle school. We hope you enjoy it.
It's been a different summer for Norwood kids, but one of the many camps the Rec Department has been able to put on this summer is the fishing camp. Over at Hale Reservation, kids are learning how to fish on their own and catch some big bites as the result.
So the fishing camp got started last year as a part of Mustang Sports. There was a great interest in fishing in the afternoon of their normal sport camp, so much so that campers were passing up an opportunity to swim, go in the pool, and choosing to fish. So I thought that that might be something to explore a little bit, and then with the COVID and the social distancing and all those guidelines, this camp sort of fell into place as an excellent way to get campers outside, around their friends, and to be socially responsible. So some of the skills that we teach them: cast and reel, how to tie a knot, how to put on bait, how to take a fish off. We go over navigating a stream safely, like crossing a stream safely, and just some of those general, points on fishing so that they can be independent and competent fishers on their own.
Speaking of big bites, check out this catch. A 3.1-pound bass was caught earlier this week by Rocco Sheehan, setting the new fishing camp record. Hey Rocco, what's it like to catch a fish that big?
So at Ellis Pond, there's like this orange thing with the waterfall, and then there's lily pads. I casted mine out with a rubber worm at Wacky Jig, and then it was like right in front of the lily pads. I reeled it up and then reeled in and then let it stick again. And I caught a stick at first, and then the bass ate the stick off and got on my hook. Yeah, my heart was pounding. I thought my rod was gonna break for a second. I was happy at first when I knew it got on, and then all these bad thoughts came in.
Maybe the fish isn't a keeper for now, but the picture sure is. That's so cool. Now we'll toss it over to Brian Dunn with sports.
Hello and welcome into this week's Sports Update. My name is Brian Dunn, and as of early this week, more news and updates have come down regarding the MIAA fall sports season. The Board of Directors met on July 21st, and a few things to note. The board approved to push back the start date of the fall sports season to September 14th. Keep in mind, that's not game start. That's when teams can take the field and begin preseason activities, tryouts, what have you. So again, September 14th is when teams can take the field regarding the fall sports season for the MIAA. Again, we will provide updates and when they come, so keep it here to the Sports Update on NCM for updates regarding the upcoming seasons, including the fall sports season. But before I leave you, I want to let you know NCM will be broadcasting live sports once again. Yes, for the first time since the government shutdown in March, NCM will be broadcasting a live sports game. It'll be Norwood versus Action and MIBL baseball action down at the Bulk. Game time is 7:30, so you're not going to want to miss it Monday, July 27th. And that's all for now. Make sure you tune in Monday, and I'll talk to you next week. Kristen, back to you.
In government news, Monday morning, the Board of Health met and began their meeting with an update on the status of Norwood Hospital. Joan Jacobs, Board of Health member and member of the Board of Directors at the hospital, provided an update.
They talked about the LaRusso building being torn down because the roof drains were not able to handle all the rain that came down. So it opened the roof up there, and it came down from the third floor to the second floor to the first floor and eventually into, the basement. But, and they figured it wasn't worth trying to find all the mold that would build up. It was less costly to tear it down and put up a new one than it would be to renovate the whole hospital itself. The Youngdale building is going to remain. There was no damage there whatsoever. And I guess the cath lab made out pretty well. The cafeteria, I guess, was absolutely destroyed from what I saw. The brand new cafeteria was just decimated. There was nothing left. I mean, it was a horrible scene. It really was. So they're planning on having the emergency room open from, it was 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks that we met. They said 4 to 6 weeks, figure 2 months before the emergency room is open. And then the second phase will be the cardiac cath will be open because they can't do that sooner because they need beds for the people that are having that procedure done. So then in the second phase, they're going to have 15 beds available for that and any emergency room things that are coming up.
Later in the meeting, Public Health Director Sigal Reese provided the board with the current COVID numbers in Norwood and around the state.
The state every Wednesday the state issues the town-by-town report, and they revamped it last week to report different numbers. I actually think the numbers they're reporting are more indicative of what's happening now. It's a lot of things relative to the last 14 days, but it really changed. We were tracking things with the old data they were reporting. Now they're reporting new data, so we can't track it week by week. Although I assume the data will stay the same going forward. So some highlights from the data they report was our percent positive is really low. It's at 1.7%. over the last 14 days, compared to the state, which is 2.25. So that's a great number. We continue to have a good testing rate, which is higher than the state rate. So that's just something to compare it to. Overall, our case numbers is 584, but again, a more accurate number is sort of the week by week count that I report out, and it's only really a handful of cases every week, under 10 in the last 8 weeks. So our numbers continue to look good, just like across the state, and continue to be low.
To end the meeting, the board discussed the Fall Hazardous Waste Day, which is scheduled for September 26th. The health department plans to still host this event and will provide safe social distancing guidelines as the event gets closer. The next meeting for the Board of Health will be September 8th. Monday night, Mark Ryan joined the Sustainability Commission to discuss the effects of the June 28th rainstorm and the town's storm water infrastructure. DPW Director Ryan explains part of the reasoning behind the town's unprecedented flooding in conjunction with the stormwater drainage capacity.
We literally saw nearly 6 inches of rain in less than 12 hours. Between 4 and 4.5 inches of that fell within 90 minutes, which is just something. I mean, my tenure at Norwood for 21 years and in my lifelong resident, I've never seen anything quite like that, Mr. Chairman. The intensity was so great. It came down and there is no drain system designed to handle that kind of intensity. Typically, stormwater systems are designed, at least the street drain systems, handle a 10-year storm. It's a storm that has a 10% chance of happening any given year. And that design storm is 4.6 inches in 24 hours. And we got almost all of that within 90 minutes. So you could see why streets were flooded, why houses were inundated with water, where roadways literally looked like rivers. It was absolutely incredible.
Other agenda items included subcommittee updates, which include energy, education and outreach, and public health. The next Sustainability Commission meeting will be August 17th. The Zoning Board of Appeals met briefly Tuesday evening. The board approved 2 special permit requests, both for additions. One located at 1 Warren Street and the second located at 230 Sunnyside Road. Scheduled for 7:45 p.m., the board met with representatives of 1369 Boston Providence Turnpike to approve a request for modification. The ZBA's next meeting will be in August. The school committee convened Wednesday evening. Kate Sibling-Dunn and Jenny Wu from the Progress Norwood Cultural Competency Team gave an address to the committee regarding potential social and cultural challenges students and teachers may face. A lot of discussion the committee had and will continue to have in the coming weeks revolves around school's reopening plan. More updates will be presented to the committee in the next few meetings. However, Dave Thompson presented 3 different return-to-school models that the district may be implementing throughout the year.
So for in-person, and this is a general piece, we're looking at using the 3 feet, and 3 feet is seat to seat. It's not desk to desk, it's seat to seat. And that is closer than the 6-foot norm. When we do that, we can get close to about 75% capacity, maybe a little bit higher than what we would expect. So the hybrid, we're talking about all the above, but we are looking at closer to a 6-foot social distancing piece. Classes would be in person and then work remotely with supervision. Attendance would be taken, and these would be graded assignments. So those are changes that would be part of any remote piece, but I'm introducing it here in the hybrid model. So the hybrid schedule. So we are examining a 2-day in-person, 3-day remote model at this point, a blue cohort and a gold cohort, if you will. So the blue cohort would do Monday, Tuesday in person, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would be remote. The other group, the other cohort would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday remote, Thursday, Friday in person. So basically everybody would be remote on Wednesday. That would give us an opportunity to do some deep cleaning if it was needed. It would give us time for collaboration and calibration. So full remote, basically kind of similar to what it was in June with the curriculum work over the summer that I've already mentioned. We have invested in increased technology that includes more devices in the form of Chromebooks, teacher tools. We've added several teacher tools and software for students to use. Luckily, we have the CARES Act. There also was a technology grant that came out. We have fully accessed those to help with that aspect of it. And again, full remote or any remote will involve graded and attendance being taken.
The committee also discussed the fee schedule and established votes on the new policies that include remote learning, celebrations and observances, and reconsideration of instructional resources. The school committee will meet again next Wednesday, July 29th. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. One of the groups that were affected by this week's heat wave were the rec department summer camps. Due to the COVID health regulations, campers had to remain outside and find shade to escape the heat. The campers were given a very cool surprise when engines from the fire department showed up to spray the area and cool everyone down. On Monday, the fire department traveled to the Callahan summer camp, and on Tuesday they traveled to the Cleveland. Campers and staff all took advantage of this time to cool off and have some fun sliding in the wet grass. The production team of NCM was on the Common early this week, scouting out the location for an upcoming summer show. The summer show will feature host Jack McCarthy of Norwood Digest, Jerry Slater of Your Town at Work, and Mark Hoover of Sports Extra. NCM Executive Director Jack Tolman fills us in.
What we decided to do this summer at Norwood Community Media is to combine all three of the regular shows that we do, Norwood Digest, Your Town at Work, and Sports Extra. And what we thought would be really neat is to come down to the Town Common, combine all three of those shows into one super summer show. We're going to bring down our TV truck, we're going to fire up some cameras here, we're going to have some fun. We're going to take a look at the new picnic tables and the way the Town Common's set up, and we're going to have fun doing it. On this special show, we're going to bring back retired Town Manager John Carroll, who has some exciting news to talk about. We'll have Tony Mazzucco to update us on all the things that are happening around town. Sigal Reese from the Board of Health is going to be updating us on the latest of COVID-19. We'll have new selectman Matt Lane and a few other surprises from the sports world. When we're all done shooting at the Town Common, we're going to go back to our studios, put this show together, and you'll be able to see this on all social media platforms plus our channels right here on Norwood Community Media.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.